Welcome to another episode of Chasing Rings. Almost to the point of wrapping up our draft coverage. Tonight, we will talk about our sleepers. We've already taken you through our top 5 for each position, and we've also analyzed what we think each team should do with their draft selection in round 1. And we're going to culminate by talking about our mock drafts after our sleeper selections tonight, and we'll also share those with you all via social media. So that's our plan for this episode. Let's get into it, fellas, with our wait what? Wait, what? Big dude, talk to me.
All right. Sticking with the theme sleepers, my sleepers are Markel Bell, Davison Igbinosun, and Deni Dennis Sutton. So all the sleepers have elite size and length for their position. But did you know Deni Dennis Sutton outjumped Davison Igbinosun by 11 inches in the broad jump and by 5.5 inches in the vertical jump, despite a height difference of 4 inches and despite a weight difference of 67 pounds.
Wow. Wait, what?
6'2", 189 for Igbinosun, and Deni Dennis Sutton, 6'6", 256, actually showed better jumps than a defensive back in the corner that didn't even weigh 200 pounds.
I tell you what, I might be stuck in my old school ways of comparing the game, but there's no doubt that today's athletes are better athletes for sure. But it's evolution, right? They should be.
The science of sports is at a whole nother level now.
Exactly.
Okay, so how long has the NFL draft been in effect?
Since, I think, 1935, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, somewhere around there, 35, 36. So, but did you all know that in 38 and 39 draft, they only allowed the 5 lowest ranked teams to draft in round 2 and 4.
Wait, what? That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a
good one.
What was the purpose of
that? Day, everybody gets their first round draft. The lowest ranked ones, they get to just blow up the second round. Then it goes back to everybody. And then the fourth round, just the lowest 5 get to blow up the fourth round.
Jeez. So they try to make it as fair as possible.
Honestly, I do think that is a much fair approach, unless you're one of these like mid or high level, where you're just full of you just been to the conference championship, you're there. And somehow you purchased your way up or traded your way up in the top 5 or something, I'm just like, no. But as a general rule, if you're in the bottom 5 of all the stats and whatnot, and you get 2 and 4, I like
it. It actually makes sense to me. It definitely makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
All right. So my wait what is somewhat connected to your wait what, G, and that's how I knew what year the draft started, actually. So this is no shade to all my Eagles fans. I am going on record. This is not shade. I didn't pull this purposely. This is what I came across. Did you know that the draft was proposed by Eagles co-owner Bert Bell in 1935 because he was tired of losing and couldn't afford to sign the top guys. So he was demanding a competitive playing field by having an NFL draft. Wait, what?
Wow, interesting.
Makes sense.
That's where I thought you were going, G. I'm like, I'm going to have to go to my list, man.
Right.
I thought about it, but then I came across this one, and I thought that was just technically interesting, and especially the mental exercise of putting into today's terms. So
yeah, that's big.
Yeah, that was a really good one. That was a really, really good one.
Those are real good ones.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into our news for the day. First and foremost, going to congratulate Victor Wembanyama for winning the Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA. You're not the first unanimously decided Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA. So congratulations to him for that. Both the NBA and the NHL playoffs are underway with first round games in both leagues taking place tonight. Philly's playing Boston, Portland at San Antonio in the later game. And the NHL has a series of games going on tonight, with one of the marquee matchups in the first round being the Minnesota Wild versus the Dallas Stars. Those are two of the top 3 teams in the Western Conference. So that's an interesting first round matchup. More NBA news. Billy Donovan, Chicago Bulls former head coach, now stepped down the other day after 6 seasons with Chicago. Only took them to the playoffs one time, and they actually lost in that series 4-1. And, of course, they were eliminated fairly early this year in the playoffs. So the Bulls actually wanted him to stay, but he thought it would be best for the organization for him to step down and give them some time to find a replacement. Former Iowa State center Audie Crooks announced that she will be transferring to Oklahoma State for her senior year. She averaged 26 and 8 for the Cyclones this past season. This is the most interesting thing about her transferring, though. She is now the 3rd highest paid women's basketball player in the world.
Oh, dang,
not in college.
Country. In college.
Not in college, in the world.
Wow.
1.4 million is her NIL valuation, excuse me. Just behind Asia Wilson, who's the repeat MVP. Her average salary comes out to 1.6 million now with the new CBA, and Aaliyah Boston, who's just under 1.6 million on average across the life of their contracts. So how crazy is that?
Wow.
That's going to cause a lot more changes. I can tell you that much.
I actually saw something else too when I was looking at this. The quarterback for Notre Dame, Riley, do you remember his last name?
I can't remember.
You know who I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah.
Why can't I remember his last name? He's the Colts quarterback now. Anyways, he had posted that he definitely took a pay cut coming into the league. And, you know, when Eric Dickerson said it back in the 80s, it was kind of a joke because of what SMU was doing. It was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. But in this world of, you know, legal payments, that's crazy to think that college kids are making that much money where they're taking a pay cut entering into their rookie contracts.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of them are fighting to stay.
Yeah, they're staying to the 25 because the rookie salary cap is not going to be able to stand up to it.
No. And I would love to see over the years, over a 5 to 7 year period, at least, if we see more athletes opting to stay longer in college. I would imagine so, given what the bag looks like now. You know, why would you take that pay cut? It really doesn't make any sense. You could get better. Certainly you risk injury, but you can insure yourself, you know, get that bag, get better at the same time, because at least for your first contract, you're going to be looking at a pay cut for the first contract, which is what on average, probably 3 years in each sport, the rookie contract. So I would stay. Good news for the Indianapolis Colts fans. Daniel Jones is doing very well in his Achilles recovery. He started throwing and dropping back today. So it looks like he's well ahead of schedule. Looks like he should be ready to at least start camp. You know, with an injury like that, you don't want to rush too fast, but it looks like he's in good shape. And then finally, our last piece of NFL news, of course, former coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin, will be joining the Sunday Night Football crew, which I think he is going to be excellent at. I think his knowledge of the game will be helpful. Certainly he'll have to get used to being in the booth, but I think he'll be a great addition to that team. And you guys know Tony Dungy isn't back on there, right? Who I actually enjoyed.
Oh, man, for real?
Yeah, Tony Dungy's not going to be back.
I thought that was an error, but that's true.
I don't know. I don't know if it was officially announced yet, but the tea leaves were definitely headed that way. So,
you know, I mean, I like listening to him just for his general knowledge, but in terms of personality, he was kind of dry.
He does not have the best personality.
No. So, but his knowledge, man, he would drop nuggets for real, though.
Yeah. Well, between his lack of personality and Rodney Harrison having these senior moments this past year, it was an interesting broadcast team.
Bruh. Hey, Tomlin it's going to be funny because once he really gets in his groove, and he's just so blunt.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think of Charles Barkley. In the NBA side, I can just see him saying some zingers and things, and just be serious, but it's just going to be funny.
And he has all those little sayings that he comes up with, so
Mm-hmm.
it'll be interesting how that plays with the public. So looking forward to that. Always, as well as the NFL season, what's not to look forward to, right?
Exactly.
So tonight we're going to get into our sleeper prospects, and we're going to call them our diamonds in the rough.
So it looks like we're starting off with Markel Bell, number 70, the left tackle. He has good feet, good base. There he is on a double team and off to the second level. It's important that you're able to get to the second level. Once again, he has a good base. He was beat inside, but then he rolled up the defensive end. And on the next play, he's able to secure the outside. His feet are quick, and he makes a hole for his running back. He gives up a little pressure there, but he recovers. And it's hard to recover when you're that tall. And there he is. It looks like it's a pancake for him. So he comes off the ball. He's a master at doing the double teams and turning the edge. And his feet continue to turn. He shouldn't turn his shoulders much. He has a little bit of problem pulling that we can see, even though the play worked. He has to be a little bit quicker on the pull, but he cuts off the inside, which is one of the hardest things to do as a pass rusher, especially when you're tall. And on the outside, he continues to maintain a square punch. He punches and goes back on the punch and comes straight back. So he has all those good tools that are there for him. He has given up no sacks this last year. He lost more than 50 pounds. He was a little over 400 pounds. And even though he's 6'9" and it's hard to bend, he's doing as best he can to do it. It probably hurts his rating. He's had some big matchups, long arms, the longest wingspan this year, 87-inch wingspan out of Holmes Community College to Miami, of course. Very tall, tough to recover at times, but nonetheless, I think he's a great investment because he continues to get better, and he'll be a good project for someone that may need someone by next year with teams that are retiring and has a gap scheme, according to the scouting report as well. It looks like that's Denai Dennis Sutton. Denai Dennis Sutton, look how quick he is off the edge. He is so quick off the edge. He's got good hands. Look at that wingspan he has. He comes off the edge. He beats the tackle inside. He knows the tackle is beat because the tackle drops his foot, and he goes and accelerates to the quarterback and puts the quarterback down. There's Sutton again, off the ball fast. That's what he's very good at. His first step, they say, is quick in many things I saw, and that his first step is quick. He closes down the passing lane, and the quarterback cannot step up. Here comes Sutton again. Sutton is headed toward the quarterback off the edge, and actually, he makes an interception. They do drop him back in the passes that they throw. So he is kind of like an edge rusher and an off-ball linebacker. He could do either one. But Sutton is quite an athlete, as you can see. So Sutton, he plays the run and the pass equally as well. Very surprisingly, I think he is a sleeper, and he's a diamond in the rough because I don't see how any way he's the 15th ranked edge rusher. He's 15th ranked with all these different things athletically and what he can play. And he's played all 4 years, of course, with Penn State, which is what I love. He makes plays from the backside, heavy hands, 17 sacks in the last 2 years, same amount of production in the last 2 years. Strong against good teams like Oregon and Indiana. But this guy also has a special teams pedigree where he had 2 block punts, both resulting in points. One is safety and one a touchdown. So he's someone that can change the game almost like a big play person at defensive end. I don't know who you can really compare him to. I think he's like Courtney Brown on Jets. That's what I'll call him. Now, Davison Igbinosia. They call him an outside corner because he plays zone. He's playing a zone as a corner. And he sits, he waits, and he waits for the quarterback to make a mistake. Quarterback made a mistake. He's set in his zone, and he's right where he should be. And he also here is looking for the ball, always near the football. Johnny on the spot, near the football. And he also is a strong tackler. They rate him about a 77. And there he is picking up another fumble right there where the play is, coming up from his safety position. Wasn't really near the play, but puts himself near it, right around his linebackers. And he is also, there's another shot of the play. He's a person, again, that is going to come up, make the play, can cover people. And he also, he's 6'2", 189, known as the zone corner, and his profile focuses on strong man coverage as well, although we saw him mostly in zone in Matt Patricia's scheme. And he makes a lot of big plays, and he runs very much because he makes big plays, and he's had big plays in some big games against Penn State in 2024 and against Michigan. He got a penalty for making a big play, but he made it. And he reminds me a lot of Darius Big Play Slay. That's who he reminds me of. I don't know why he's ranked so low. At 6'2", 189, one of the problems with him is at the end, they say he's a little too handsy. Probably because he's 6'2", he probably doesn't have the hips he should have, so he's going to have to work on that. I think he's also another good investment.
Well, it's funny. You mentioned Igbenosum's size. He does not look that big, man. Like I would expect him to definitely be under 6 feet. Mm-hmm. But I think his frame is deceiving. He looks like he might be long, and I can see where that height might come in. Markel Bell is interesting with that height. Definitely, he's an athletic man. I mean, on some of those pulls, he definitely has to get a little bit quicker on that, but still to move like that at that size. And he was doing pretty well in with the blocking schemes and those plays that they were calling. And Danny Dennis Sutton, I think, is probably your most underrated one out of these three. I could definitely see him out of these three making probably more noise initially, but I really like Igbenosum myself. Is Igbenosum one to notice a Buckeye? Is he somebody that you liked on that defense a lot, or?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Thing with Ohio State, they just have so many weapons on both sides of the ball, and on defense, yeah, he was definitely one of our main players. So yeah, I'm surprised that he's not getting more love based on his actual play.
Yeah. All right.
I'm with you though. I think Dennis Sutton is probably of your sleepers, big dude. I think Dennis Sutton is probably going to be, in terms of sleepers, is going to be the biggest surprise.
I'm wondering. I'm real curious as to why he's not ranked higher, especially coming from a power conference school where they're getting a lot of visibility. I'm a little bit surprised about that.
Well, those PFF scores, I think G talked about that a few other times. I don't know if you recall that, G. The PFF scores are suspect. The scores they give you for every game. I think they got some good scores against those quote-unquote lesser teams. And when Penn State started to struggle, it's hard to tell what score he got. I don't think he got anything at the top. So stuff that we used to call a good game, they may not call it a good game as much. They are saying in a scouting profile that he sometimes misses tackles that he shouldn't miss. But he makes plays from the backside, and he punches the ball out. He's got heavy hands. He's a difference maker in a lot of football games. Every game that I know Penn State won that I saw, he was always a big part of that game. And then he was, totally on the other side from Abdul Carter. Him and Abdul Carter together, maybe that's what they took away from him. Maybe they said, hey, maybe he's not as good without Abdul Carter. But from most of the other research I saw, Green Bay could be interested in him as well. If there's something there, that Green Bay could be the team, because Micah Parsons is still, from what I understand, not on pace to come back during the first game. So you got to bring in someone else that's got some athleticism. You are going to have older players come in from other teams, and I think they have picked up some other folks. But I think he'll push somebody into camp and thrive in an environment like that in a small market.
That's a good call, too, because Green Bay is one of those teams that doesn't have a first-round pick, so that might not be a bad second round by the time it comes back around to them. All right, G, let's get into your 3 sleepers here.
All right. One of the things that you all going to know in my analysis is really not much based on the quote-unquote professionals rankings. It was really me going back looking. So, I mean, I did look at end-of-year stats and stuff like that, but really looking at how they play. And so this is Jeremy Bernard, and I'd like to introduce him by basically saying if Alabama had no Bernard, then you would Ty Simpson would not be where he is, because when you see the gentleman play, you can see the routes that he runs, how wide this young man gets open, because he's really good at those routes. You also notice when he catches a ball, he also tends to get good yards after catch and shows quite a bit of agility. You'll probably see a little later where he breaks tackles. He's one of these receivers that can do a really, really good job of breaking tackles. And on this one, that's facial awareness, and that's body awareness to be able to make that type of play. And this is one of these examples to show where he's really hard to tackle. And he actually has a little bit more speed than people give him credit for. But when I think about him, I think that he's going to Hines Ward's people to death. That's the thing I saw when I was watching him play, was Hines Ward. He's going to be short, mid-range catches with really good yards after the catch. So that would definitely, I think Bernard, if it were no Bernard, Ty Simpson would not be higher, because if you go back and watch those games, he's bailed Ty Simpson out quite a bit. Well, Guru, this is your team. You can actually speak to that.
He was definitely Ty Simpson's safety net. He was able to get into open spaces a lot. Whenever we needed a big play, it was always him. Specifically, what stands out was the South Carolina game where, we were in a situation where we thought about maybe having to kick a field goal just to tie the game or win the game. And he ended up breaking a play that was just a little short route just to get a first down, and he ended up winning the game on it. So that is definitely the type of player he is. I'm a little bit surprised he's not ranked a little bit higher, but I think he doesn't have all those physical attributes that we go ooh-ah over, but he's a sound receiver. So, I'm going to miss him. Definitely going to miss him.
You're exactly right. And that's part of the reason why I thought Hines Ward, because, Hines Ward came out, he didn't have all those physical attributes, but he turned into like one of the best, one of the best receivers and one of the toughest blocking receivers in the league. And I think he's going to follow in that pattern. So now we're going to move on to Jennings Dunker. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. And you all, this guy, I have a special note that he's a dozer. So, I mean, he just bullies people. And you can actually see this. Now, here's one of the things. You'll see when he's doing really, really well, he really gets his hands up under the tackler's pads. Now, there is some question about arm length or whatever, slight, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But one of the things that you saw, he can get his hands up under there. But here's a weakness of his. Sometimes he stands up. And I don't know if you saw this. Sometimes you catch him leaning back. So he really has to work on, and you could probably speak to this more than I, big dude, but he has to really speak. He needs to really focus on his base and moving from a base versus moving step to step. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I don't know
yes, it does.
Okay. But to his credit, he improved every year. And at the end of the year, he has a whole bunch of awards. Interestingly enough, preparing for today, because I did my last of the run through, he's actually been moving up the boards. So I don't even know if I can call him a sleeper anymore at this particular time. But I'll leave him there, and I would just count the fact that I saw him, I called him, and he's moving up the board, so he's still a sleeper.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think he should move to guard or center.
I was going to suggest that. I like him at guard.
Yeah, I don't think he stays at tackle.
I mean, it's good that he can do man removed, because if he's doing man removed, and the guy is out on his outside shoulder as a guard, it's a lot better, if you have a tackle there. But the fact that he can do that, because NFL doesn't have they don't have a lot of linemen, so it's good that he can play tackle. I think guard, he can make the best difference with his footwork and his size.
Totally agree. He is
good
a
analysis.
dozer. So now we're going to move from the dozer to what I term the human wall at all 6'8" of just pure manhood. And look, now, sorry, he is a bull rusher. The dude, he moves people. And that was the first thing that I noticed. And you'll also notice, watch how he can shed blockers, which I think is a really, really, really good talent. And he seems to be moving in slow motion, but when you're 6'8", you're taking long steps, long strides. So he's actually moving. He's actually taking up real estate. Seems to have a really, really good motor. I couldn't really find anything about whether or not he takes time off. So I'm going to just chalk it up to yes, he has the type of motor you need in the NFL. He gets his hands up on pass plays, big dude. I know that was something that you said you look for in D linemen, those who on the pass, and they'll get those hands up. And he actually showed that actually happened a few times in these particular highlights. Now, I don't know if this means anything, big dude, but you could tell me. I feel like he plays with a calmness. And so, and it seems that when you play with a calmness, you're letting the game come to you and you're responding to it appropriately. And that's kind of what I got from it. And you can tell me if that's what you saw or not. But the knocks on him, and you can see it. I mean, he does move slowly, but he does take a lot of real estate. I was looking at his tackle and sacks total, very high tackle count, pretty low sack count. But I do believe defensive tackle, or at his size, a nose guard, if you run that type of defense, he'll be good. But I prefer him for his career to be a defensive tackle and just go do his thing, because I think he can hit those two gaps pretty well.
Yeah, and I saw him play head up on a guard, so he's playing D tackle and on the edge. So it's good that he has both of those to come from and being in different packages. So, yeah, I saw that, and definitely playing with a calmness is the discipline. So you play your gap and that you don't jump out of your gap. People don't realize sometimes you give the other team, when you're not playing with calm discipline, you're giving the other team 6-7 yards of carry during a drive by not being where you're supposed to. So I think that's an excellent thing to point out, G.
All right. Hey, bro, I'm just a fan. That's why I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, I want to touch on Xavier Harris a little bit. I'm glad you brought up the comment about whether or not he takes plays off. It was hard to tell in a lot of his highlights because there were some other good people on that defense, and it was almost a matter of times where I kept trying to find him, but other people were just beating him to the play. So I guess my assessment at the end of it isn't so much that he takes plays off. I think that just with that defense they were kind of sharing the wealth there in getting the people, man, and making the stops. And what I really liked about him is that athletic play that he made to get that interception. And if you're looking at highlights of him, that particular play is all over the place. Like he takes a lot of pride in making that play too. So I like his athleticism. I think Jennings Dunker, I'm starting to feel almost like his personality people are falling in love with his personality and the red hair and the, you know what I'm saying? But I think with the right coach, I mean, certainly he's got all the tools it takes to be a successful tackle. But very good point about him standing up, right, a little bit too much there. And of course, you know how I feel about Mr. Bernard. So,
yeah,
cool. Good sleepers. Good sleepers. All right. So my 3 sleepers, and I guess I've always been an offensive type of guy and have grown to appreciate defense maybe a little bit more in the later years, but I want points and I like weapons. So you'll see that all of my diamonds in the rough are on the offensive side of the ball with 2 wide receivers and a quarterback. My people are Ted Hurst from Georgia State, Tyron Montgomery from Division III, John Carroll, another wide receiver, and Sawyer Robertson from Baylor. So I'm going to start off with Ted Hurst. Now, Ted Hurst is he's a guy that's going to stretch the field for you. He's a deep guy. You know, he wants to beat you deep. And you check him out here one-on-one getting played up to the line. That kid didn't stand a chance. First of all, he was too small for him. He should have gave him the too small signal. Nice move here. That DB looked super slow, but nice move there to make that catch. Would have been nice if he could have kept his feet on that. But I like these type of plays here. Those are the plays that win in the NFL because those are the contested throws. And sometimes you just need somebody to make a special play on those. And sometimes the difference between winning a chip and not could be the lack of a guy who can make those type of plays. You see he has good footwork there, understands where he is on the field sideline, strong enough to pull away, protecting the ball in the meantime. And I think what's the lost art is throwing that ball right there up to these guys who are taller than obviously the guys playing them. So I really like him a lot. So Ted Hurst is 6'4", 206 pounds, okay? He started off at Valdosta State, which was a D2. He stayed there for 2 years before he moved on to Georgia State. Ran a 4.42 at the combine in the 40. In his final season at Georgia State, and he put up some numbers here, 71 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, and he was all Sun Belt Conference first team. So as you saw from the highlights with him, he excels at the deep threat. He's the type of guy that's going to be able to track the ball when you make those contested catches, especially near the sidelines, being able to keep his feet straight. He's really good at just maintaining the focus on the ball and making sure that he's aware where he is on the field. He's a really refined route runner. And he's always going to find those windows in the zone. So he can often get open. Again, he's a bigger, long threat than anything else, a deep threat, but kind of projecting him as a high upside day 3 type of selection. And that's kind of one of the things that I was talking about with you guys throughout this. You're going to be able to find a receiver well into those later rounds. Now, I'm not saying he's obviously the best receiver in this draft. Obviously, he's one of my sleepers, but to me, getting a guy of that quality who's produced at the D1 level on day 3 with the right coaching, I feel like the sky's the limit for him. The one thing that he needs to do is he needs to add on a little bit of mass. You see, he's a slender guy. He is over 200 pounds, but he can add a little bit more mass because in the NFL, you won't be running so freely like that a whole lot. And he needs to be able to get off press coverage a little bit better because they're going to probably bump and run him a little bit more than he's probably used to. Even the guys that were playing him on the line in most of his highlights, they tend to still leave him enough space to get off the line. If you look at other footage of him, you'll see that when he's pressed by a physical DB, he can have a little bit of a difficult time getting off the line. And probably the biggest nick on him is he has a high drop rate. And if you're going to make it in the NFL, you got to catch the ball. And dropping as many passes as he's dropped, and I'm thinking he still had 71 receptions in a 1,000-yard season. What could have been with this guy? So that's my take on Ted Hurst. I'm going to get into my guy, Tyron Montgomery, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this guy because he has a really interesting story. He's about 6'1", 190. Not the fastest guy out there. Ran like a 4.9. Ran like a 4.9 in the 40. He only played 2 years of college football. All right. He played at Nicholls State, and then he played at John Carroll. So very interesting story, this guy. So he actually went to LSU to play basketball, and he's what we consider a late bloomer. So started off playing basketball. Then the pandemic hit. He had to step away from school. His mom got sick, so he ended up actually going home and ended up playing football because his brother is a quarterback at Eastern Kentucky University, and they were just throwing the ball around. He's kind of helping his brother, kind of stay fresh and stay active. And his brother said, man, why don't you play football? And he's like, yeah, I guess I could try it. So he tried to walk on at Houston. They're from the Houston area, but Houston, during that COVID era, there were eligibility rules about so many players and, due to, spreading COVID and all that. So they weren't really taking any new players. So he wasn't able to play there. He eventually continued his journey at Nicholls State before he transferred to John Carroll. And John Carroll is where he really took off, where he became a dominant receiver at that level. He had All-American honors, setting school records. So now as he gets into the draft, he's entering as a late riser, but certainly the basketball background helps him. I mean, think about being able to pick up a sport that quickly. Played 1 year, at Nicholls, which was D1, then goes down to a D3. And there might be something that benefits him from playing at the D3 level because he got to play a lot of ball when he was so far behind everyone else. Had he stayed at a D1 program, he might not have gotten the reps that he needed. So this is going to be real interesting to see what happens with this kid. But I know a lot of scouts are high on him, but he's got that one thing that I hate with this new eligibility stuff that we're dealing with. He's another older guy, 25-year-old rookie. So he's got to make it happen. There's not a lot of time to be playing around here. So, he's got to really make it happen. But I love this kid. I think wide receivers might be my favorite position, actually. Mm-hmm. I really do. Something about the athleticism, the ability to change a game on a dime. Not that other positions can't, but there's something just that's a little bit more electrifying when you have a superstar wide receiver in your fold. So I think I'm a little bit biased towards the wide receivers. My last guy here, Sawyer Robertson, quarterback from Baylor. This kid actually started at Mississippi State. He was Mike Leach's last quarterback. So this dude, 6'4", 220. I loves me a big quarterback. Loves me a big quarterback. All right. And he doesn't run a bad 40, 4.6 40 for a guy that size, not bad at all. Threw for almost 3,700 yards, which was 7th in D1. He had 31 touchdowns, which was 5th. 12 interceptions, not the best TD to interception ratio, but Baylor throws it around a lot, and Baylor was trailing a lot, as they usually are in most years. So definitely putting the ball up a lot. I mentioned that he started at Mississippi State before transferring to Baylor, but he's what they consider a developmental pocket passer. He's got an NFL caliber arm. Definitely no question about his arm strength, and really explosive with his lower body. Again, solidly built, 6'4", 220. He's very much a rhythm passer and a quick release type of guy. So he's going to stand tall under pressure. He's going to stand in that pocket, and he can challenge any point of the field. He can make any pass. Tough guy. He can run. Not afraid to get in the mix. He basically was limited because he just, had a little bit of injury history there trying to get through the Big 12. But he's really a high ceiling QB2, high potential in a West Coast type of offense that has that timing based scheme. But he's got to be more. He's got to clean up his footwork and work through his mechanical regressions just a little bit better, because he can at times be erratic with his accuracy, which I can imagine that'll be amped up when you are now dealing with a bigger, faster pass rush coming at you. But overall, I really like this kid. I definitely, out of my 3 sleepers, I'm going to say Tyron Montgomery is going to be the one that steps up immediately. I don't know when he's going to be picked, who's going to take a chance on him. Again, second, third day, who knows? But I think he will be the guy that makes the most noise first. I like Ted Hurst, but the drop passes concern me. Concern me a lot.
I can definitely see Montgomery going third, fourth round. But I mean, I'm not saying that he's Randy Moss by any stretch of the imagination. The only thing I am saying is that, you don't have to come from, one of the power fours to come out and be a force. And the
Mhm.
fact that he's learned that quickly, that is positive for any coach. So when he
Yeah,
gets
And,
to the next level, he's going to be soaking up every bit of knowledge he can soak up.
and one of these two sport guys too, right?
mhm.
You love these guys that played basketball because it translates, right? We've
Mhm.
seen plenty of guys who played basketball have super successful NFL careers. I'm sorry, big dude, you were about to say something important.
No, just I was going to say, I think him making it on special teams will be very important. Now, to me, that's how he's going to make the team. So you'll see how he does with special teams to kind of get on the squad. Yeah. He'll do stuff that other people won't do. He seems like that type of person.
I can see that. But
I can see that
Sawyer
too.
Robertson, man, he puts me in the mind of Nussmeier. I wouldn't be
Hmm.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, let me back up. Nussmeier, you look at his career; it's been constant improvement too until the injury, and then you start seeing little foibles in his game, similar to him. When I was reading back on it, and so I wouldn't be surprised that whatever this lower body injury is somehow impacted his throwing. I would not be surprised. So
Hmm.
that's why when you say that he could end up being a sleeper, I can actually really see that. Because if he's playing this well with a nagging lower body injury and he still never missed a start, if he get on this NFL program and if he gets with a good team, like a Pittsburgh, or he may end up in New England where they're going to give him time to truly recover. You got you one, I think.
And I'm going to tell you who he reminds me of, and I know it's going to sound crazy because I don't think he's the same kind of athlete, but I don't know how much of if you remember of Josh Allen in college because I did see him a few times. So I
Like,
was familiar when he came up in the draft. I was pretty familiar. Actually, I wanted us to draft him. He has that type of arm strength. I think he has the potential to impact the run game in a similar manner that Josh does. Now, he's not going to run over people. Josh is a bigger guy, but I think he could make those type of scramble plays. I think you could call runs for him, but I like that strong arm and the fact that he has that erratic nature. That is exactly how Josh was described. Remember, one of the big knocks on Josh coming out of Wyoming is dude doesn't even have a 60% passing percentage. No quarterback who can't complete 60% of his passes in college is supposed to make it in the NFL.
but he was
And
pushing it down like this cat. He was pushing it downfield a lot, wasn't he? In college. Yeah,
yep,
that's a lower
yep.
percentage passes, man.
And you're on Wyoming. I mean, it's probably you or bust. So, so in
Yeah.
in in thinking about him, again not identical, but some of those attributes remind me of him. And if you could find a strong arm quarterback, and you get in the right system with the right coaches, that could be problems. And again, I like that 6'2" something. I could get with that all day. So, um, any other comments about any of our sleepers, or does anyone want to introduce? I know people had a few more sleepers. If you want to take some time to just throw their names out there real quickly so we can make sure we get credit for telling the world about them before they end up not being sleepers.
Oh God. I had some more, but I don't have that document up.
Well, I'm going to throw one guy's name out. Dejon with a Z Stribling from Ole Miss, wide receiver. He had a big CFP semifinal game, made a lot of plays when they needed him, helped Ole Miss get out of there. I guess, or maybe it was the quarters against Georgia I'm thinking about. But he did have a big game against Miami as well. But big guy, fast, can pretty much play any part of the field as a wide receiver, breakaway, tough catches over the middle. So I would say keep that name at the top of your list too. And I actually will put him ahead of the guys that I have at the wide receiver spot, but he's SEC guy, so that's not really a sleeper to me. That's why I didn't put him up there. So,
all right, I have my document up now.
All right, what do you have for us?
There's some names that you probably want to keep in mind. Quarterback Peyton, North Dakota State University. I think you had him on your list.
He's my top 5. Yeah, he's my 5th. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a top 5, but I could be proven wrong. But I do believe he's going to do well. And the running back, I believe Adam Randall from Clemson. I think he has the tools. He's pretty agile, really good at pass protection, but he does have a good number of drops, so he can get that fixed. I think he'll be fine.
And remember, I have Peyton at 5 in what I call a trash quarterback class. So take that for what you want to take it for.
Hey, you had McNeil Warren too, didn't you?
Yeah, I think he was my second safety. Yeah, he was my second.
Yeah,
I think Big Dude had him too. Big Dude had him on his top 5 too.
Okay, yeah. He's definitely my sleeper. And I debated back and forth about putting him in my top 5. I just couldn't because it's Toledo, but he's definitely my sleeper.
I wanted to make him the number 1 safety, but I couldn't put anybody over Caleb Down. What do you have, Big Dude? You have any names you want to throw out there?
Pat Coogan, the center for Indiana. I think he'll find his way in there somewhere. Pat Coogan has, he's been a tremendous rock for Indiana. I say one of the biggest talents, not overall in terms of speed and all that in the country, but I would say a steady center that can do a whole lot of different things that many people can't do. And also from Penn State, a solid but very quietly started, I think, 3 years, Drew Shelton, the left tackle for Penn State, had a solid career as well. Those people that came back, so both were pretty steady, and not tremendous athlete, but very steady on all ends. And I think he went against Dennis Sutton in practice every day. But just those folks that are the steadiest ones. I'm sure there'll be some more out there, but that's about where I'm at. All my sleepers, by the way, they're all 22 years old, which was great, and I found that out. So I think all of them have time, including the big guy, because I thought he was going to a couple other schools, but he had some HBCU offers, but decided to bet on himself and decided to go ahead and go to Holmes Community College.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
You're such a homer. You should just say everybody on Penn State, you should just put them on your list.
That's what I was about. Thank you, Eugene. Thank you. Homer, man. Just top 5. Penn State, Penn State, Penn State, Penn State, Penn State. No. Top 5, Penn State, Penn State, Penn State, Penn State.
I was talking about Markel Bell.
No, we knew who you were talking about there, but you threw a Penn State in before that. Actually.
Yeah, but Pat Coogan was first.
He was. Yeah. Fellas, the mock drafts. Did everybody get a chance to look at everyone else's?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't been back in.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. So yeah, if you can pull ours up at least, very interesting. Especially one of the things that I found interesting. Gee, you shocked me, man, with your Ohio State love.
I know, man.
You just were given no love at the top of the draft.
You shut them down, G.
Wow. Because I wasn't basing it on the player. I was basing it on the top needs of the team. So yes, okay. I am a Buckeye through and through. I am a homer, but when it comes to this, it's all about what the team needs.
Okay, big dude. Excuse me if I'm overstepping and speaking on behalf of both of us, but I believe Big Dude and I were also based it on the needs of the team.
Yeah,
you got 3 Ohio State dudes up there. And I got about 3. I got 4 actually. No, we both have 4 in the top 10. You have 1. No, I'm sorry. You got 2. You have 2. I forgot about McDonald, but I feel you. I'm just letting you know that our approach was the same, and we gave your boys love. So about week 5 of the college season, don't be acting like I'm a first level hater, because I can be objective when I need be.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that.
Remember that.
Even though y'all jacked me up, it's all good.
Hey, I snuck some Bama guys in there. Don't get it twisted. I snuck a few in there in those top 5 that probably shouldn't be there.
You're supposed to, man. Hey, man, it's all about hope at this point. But I did make the change that you were requesting. It's on. You'll see that I even updated the day. As of the 21st, I made the change. I didn't.
Yeah, what did you go with? So Big Dude's gonna be the only one that has a mock draft 2 because of the Giants trade with Cincinnati, and we didn't have his in time for the show. Who did you end up going up with at 10, Big Dude?
I stayed with Ruben Bain because the Dexter Lawrence trade is one reason, and then the other reason is they're saying that Thibodeau's got one foot out the door also. So they need. So here I am getting ready to figure out who else I can come up with and where else. And then I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, this guy, if he's there, the Giants are going to get him because they're going to need him. I mean, that trade, they went and they got what it is they had to get from the draft. To me, that falls. I mean, I really think that around 9 or 10, he's going to get picked. I know some people I think said that the Dolphins. I think somebody said 11, and then
how about Bain?
Yeah. So
that's why I have him going 9 to Miami.
Right. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I knew somebody did, but I decided to leave him there because, like I said, Thibodeau on his way out. Then they're talking to them. Dexter Lawrence is on. It's like, well, he's right where he needs to be. Somebody who's going to definitely need him, and they need to. If Thibodeau's out, they really are going to need him, and they're going to need him to play right away. It's going to be a rotation, of course. But
Bain all the way at 15, y'all.
And that's for Tampa Bay, right?
Yep. When I was going through it, I just nah, not yet, not for this team.
Yeah.
Let's start with our respective teams, and we'll see where we go with our discussion here. But let's start with each of our own teams and kind of make a case for what you did for your own team.
Oh, okay.
So
this was tough.
Y'all only had one pick, right? Yeah, the 19th. Yeah, you guys were definitely tough.
Mm-hmm.
It was
so you
tough.
picked Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah,
that's what you think for Carolina?
Yeah. That's what I took, yeah.
Yeah, that's who you picked. I picked Spencer Fannell. I picked Spencer Fannell for you guys.
Yeah, I picked Sadiq.
No, you have. I'm sorry. I'm looking at them backwards. You have Caleb Downs. Gee, my bad. I'm looking.
You think Caleb Downs is going to drop that far, G? I mean, I guess that's an example of what Guru was talking about. I was like, man.
Well, safety.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of the people ahead of this, they did not have safety as their top need. Yep. So that's why they put him there until he got to Carolina, where it's a top need.
Well, Big Dude, we dropped him to 8, and they were one time talking about top 3. So
yeah,
I think we all kind of took the same approach where when we're looking at the team, we're like, nah, we don't.
Depends on the team need.
Yeah, I did struggle with the Jets. I struggled like hell with the Jets. I ended up going with Arvell Reese, but I wanted to go Dave Bailey. I really wanted to go David Bailey for the Jets.
You know who I went with for the Jets?
I was shocked.
You went the QB, right?
No,
yeah, I went with Nussmeier.
Chris Brazzell. No, you went Chris Brazzell.
Oh, no, right. For the second pick.
You're talking about for the first? Yeah,
I went about their first one.
For number 2. You're right.
Number 2. Yeah, Brazzell second. I was like, whoa. I was like,
me too. Yeah, that's true. He was like that.
That dude is a star.
Okay. So you got a feeling about him, huh?
I do, man.
Unless I'm missing it, is G the only one that took 2 quarterbacks? And I guess really say additional because we all took Mendoza. Is G the only one that had a quarterback coming off and after that? Because I don't have one.
I don't either. Nope.
And I didn't fall victim to the media trickery trying to get us to put Ty Simpson
No.
on a team in the 20s, specifically the Steelers. I didn't even give him a second thought once I started moving. Nobody needed a quarterback. But put it this way, he's not a good enough quarterback to take in the first round.
No,
Nussmeier, I'm not mad at, though. Nussmeier, I'm not mad at.
Yeah, I only thought Mendoza and Nussmeier were truly worthy of number one.
You didn't when you thought Nussmeier, you didn't think of why can't I remember my guy Beck? You didn't think about Beck?
I did, but I truly and I'm just going with my guessing gut. My guessing gut says a healthy Nussmeier who makes better decisions and has good tools is going to probably transition cleaner than Beck will. Because Beck has some bad habits, and breaking bad habits is much more difficult than just getting healthy.
That's true. All right, what about you, big dude? The Eagles.
Caden Proctor. I've been a big Caden Proctor fan for a while, not just because of what he can do, but I think that, things are required now with somebody that played a lot of football. He has a year, as long as Lane is okay, to learn under Lane and to help him take care of himself, because I think the biggest thing with Caden Proctor is he has all the outstanding things, but he needs to really be around somebody to help him take care of his weight, to get down to somewhere where he's really not only going to make a difference, where he'll be effective and able to get through the new training and the new intensity and the new speed of people. Although he's a freakish athlete for 350 pounds. Not too many people that are that freakish, kind of like you were saying, Guru. So, and then we never know what's going to happen with our guards. Landon Dickerson, we have no idea if he's going to be able to get through the year. And then we see our center had a slip disc, wrapped around his spine. It was something crazy, and he finished the year. So now we got to have somebody in there that's ready to go, and I think he'll be all set and ready to go at guard or tackle.
Well, it's interesting that we all went interior for the Eagles. G went on the defensive side with a Michigan guy. Ugh. And that hurt. And I went with Blake Miller for Clemson for you guys, big dude.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so my boys, you guys, Peter Woods, I like, big dude. I like that pick. I've been hearing a lot about that. And you went with Gabe Jackas, which I like that too. You got him up that high, though, G? You got Jackas in the first round?
Yeah, man. Here's the thing. The edge was a common top need, for a lot of these teams. And so when I was getting to them, my top five was just moving, and that was just a part of it. So, when I get down, I think I had him fourth. So
he was definitely in your top five. Yeah, he was in your top five, I recall that. I wouldn't be mad at either of those. So I had us trading with the Texans, because I think the Texans want to move up and get an offensive lineman, and they were starting to come off the board. You had Maui Noah was gone. Fielding was gone. Fano was gone. Blake Miller was gone. And I think they were starting to panic, just how I see it playing out, of course. They were starting to panic. And so they just basically moved up 2 spots with us to get Caden Proctor. Because I have the Niners taking Maxi Hanachor, which is another lineman that would have been off the board. So I had them moving up to get an offensive lineman. And then I have us taking Caden McDonald, who I love. We need a run stopper. We need a run stopper. He is the run stopper. But what I had with that trade is us also getting a second-round pick, because we don't have a second-round pick right now. So we swapped with Houston, and they gave us their second-round pick.
You think that did happen, or you think it will happen?
That's what I'm predicting to happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't on it like that to try that. I thought about that, and I even thought about trading our 23rd pick to something crazy so we could move up in the top 10.
They say that both of our boys are going to trade. You guys are going to trade up. We might totally trade out of the first round.
Oh, wow.
Which I wouldn't advise, but when we need what we need in the interior, especially with that defense, and I get that we don't have a second round pick. I get all of that, but you gotta do a little bit better in free agency. I'm not mad at the free agency period that we had. We probably have one of the more successful ones, but you can't be relying on the draft when you're picking that low. You just can't rely on the draft every year, and then you're giving away picks. You know, you need as many picks as you can get when you have, especially defensive needs. You picking low, and then you don't have a second round pick. So you basically have to be smart with that first pick. You got to hit with your first pick.
Basically.
You know, so the Jazz. I thought it was interesting how we were all over the place, man. And I really didn't. When I was going through the teams, I had my top 5 guys that I liked, but I really went away from that because I'm thinking of what the team's probably going to do, not what I would do. Mm-hmm. And so it definitely deviated quite a bit from my top 5 list. Oh, where did you guys have Owane going? I had him going to the Ravens at 14.
Owane? I don't think I have him.
Damn, you don't have him. Damn, Vega gets no love.
Huh?
Vega gets no love, G? Damn. Big dude, you got him in Tampa, right? No, you got him in. I just saw him. Oh, we both picked him for B-More. You're on mute, big dude.
I think we all did.
G didn't pick him at all in the first round.
Wow.
But I don't think he was on your top 5 list either, G, if I recall correctly.
No, he wasn't.
Damn, man. And I think he's moving up on boards.
Is he?
Yeah. He moved up in my well, that or Big Dude did a good sell job when we were doing the divisions.
You so easily
swayed. I am. I'm easily swayed. If there's no money involved, if I don't have to pay for it, you can sway me easily.
Oh, okay. So G, you took Miller.
Yeah, I took Miller.
Okay, but but for some reason you must have thought they needed a lineman though.
But we all went O-line, so
yeah.
What's up.
Yeah,
I know we went over. That was the good news about those. Even though it was a little grueling, doing it by team, that really prepared me. That was like a training camp, and I really feel like now this is a dessert to it.
Yeah, I was struggling in the beginning. Remember when I text you guys like, "Damn, I'm struggling," but after I got past 15, it was a little bit more smooth. After I got the top pick. To me, you want the top picks, but man, it's hard. Yeah, I feel like you're afraid to miss at the top.
That was the easiest for me. When I got to that last third, I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, the top picks were not the easiest to me. Like, of course, Mendoza was, but man, I was stuck on the Jets for a while because I still, I felt like I should have switched it to David Bailey, but I don't know, man.
I won't be surprised if they take David Bailey. I won't be surprised at all.
Who did you get? Did everybody have Cleveland taken? Nope. Big Dude had Cleveland taking Sonny Styles, which is another good one, but both me and G had them taking Maui Noah.
I can see that.
I like how we're getting some of the same guys.
They need protection.
I wonder will he be there though? That's the question. Or are the Cardinals going to take him?
I think the Cardinals need not take an offensive lineman. If they take an offensive lineman first, drafting that high with what they need, they better start planning for another decade of nothingness.
Talking about who? Arizona?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a high need for them. So, I mean, they need everything, but it's one.
I don't think I'd start there. So I'll pose this question to you then. If you had all these needs, I know where I would start if I had that many needs, unless I can get a once-in-a-lifetime player, which I chose the once-in-a-lifetime for them. I picked Love for them. But if a once-in-a-lifetime player wasn't there, how would you guys start building your team? Like, where would you attack as I need a lot? Where would you start?
I go inside out. That's how I go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because
I
I'm
mean,
definitely going defense. I'm going defensive interior.
yeah. I mean,
So I
yeah,
have them build their offensive line first.
I'm
yeah.
not.
Unless we get, and I don't know about this guy from the Giant. I mean, the Giants from the Vikings. They keep talking about. I forget his name. Is he number 56? I can't remember what number. 58. They keep talking about this guy they're supposed to trade for, and I don't know if that's supposed to happen in the context of the draft. But it's like I haven't heard anybody else making a big difference on Minnesota on the edge. I'm like, who did that?
Well, they had one of the top ranked defenses. I know that much. I don't know
Right.
how they did it. Yeah, because when I watched them, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Big dude, we got eerily similar picks some places. We both have Dieneman going to Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we've even talked about it on some of the shows. We felt like that he's coming in for Harrison, that if he's there, he replaces Harrison because he's the same type of safety.
They say that he might fall to you guys or you guys move up for him, but I wouldn't move up for him.
No, I don't think that's what I'm saying. If they do that, I'd be surprised. I mean, like you said, would I hate it? I wouldn't hate it, but I wouldn't care for it.
But what depends on what you're giving up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, giving up a draft, the 23rd.
It'll probably just be swap. I would imagine it would just be a swap with somebody in the first round.
Yeah.
But you guys do have all those other picks, though, right? That you've been stockpiling, big dude.
Mm-hmm. And we do need another safety, like because our other safety is on the Texans now that we lost. So, and the other dude that we have, Epps, he's okay, but I don't think he's going to get it done.
When I was done, I felt like I wanted to go into the second round because I'm looking at my list and there were still good guys left.
Yeah, well,
and that's the thing. That's the thing. When you start talking about team need and position, it becomes less about who's the best. It's like
I agree with you
right now for that team.
I agree with you.
Yeah, because I really thought about denying Dennis Sutton also with Seattle. I was like, is that possible? Can he get in there with Seattle?
They need a running back, man. That's why I put Love there. I hope Arizona does not go out and get him.
Yeah, I put Love there, but I don't want them to. He'll be wasted there.
Mm-hmm. He will be killed. Yeah. So he needs to go to a team that has their offensive line ready. That's what he needs. So
speaking of Arizona, y'all see Jacoby Brissett didn't report, right? Because that's probably going to be the quarterback.
That's right, because he wants more money or something. Yep. I think I already heard about that like 3 weeks ago.
Yep. So, all right. So, check each other's drafts out if you haven't. But I like some of the similarities. I thought some of the differences were funny. But I was listening to people on some of the networks that will remain nameless saying, mock draft 4. I'm like, how many times are you going to mock draft, my guy?
Well, their job is to go in and change stuff.
and it was just sounding ridiculous. And then you get caught up in it. I'm listening like, yes, they picked the same person I did. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know if that's a good thing.
I know. I know because I think ours had more science go into it than most people. I mean, the way we did that thing and it kind of whittled its way down, starting with the team's needs, whittling its way down. Remember, we didn't have free agency when we first started. Then we had free agency.
Right.
Then we made the adjustment with free agency. Then we whittled it down some more. So,
so they may have done the same thing.
Yeah. Well, just there were some good shows, but it just wasn't a whole lot of science to it. A lot of it was very trivial. I mean, it was, and they played with their heart, like people bet with their heart. They looked at what felt right to them, and they went and did it. But that's the good part about you, G, on here, man. You don't let me bet with my heart as much. You won't even let me.
But when y'all look at other people's draft, like the typical professionals, do their boards tend to look similar?
I would say probably in the last 2 weeks, ones I saw are close.
I didn't look at a lot of them because I didn't want to be swayed. But when I was looking at them early on in the process, they weren't. The top was, but after that, they weren't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious if they were feeding off each other or not.
No, and then some people don't think that Sonny Styles, kind of like you said, they don't think he's even a top 10. Some of those guys are saying, hey, you're wasting your money by putting Sonny Styles. Like, wasting your money.
They were saying second round for Sonny Styles.
I heard that too. Yeah.
Well, the only reason why I have him where he is because, again, I'm looking at top need.
That's exactly why I picked him. That's exactly why I put him where I put him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, because otherwise I wouldn't have had him down at 20. But he was the first one. He was the first linebacker that was a top.
You had him at 20. Shit.
Well, it wasn't linebacker wasn't a top need ahead of that. And so I looked at what is the top need, then what's the second need, what's third need. That's kind of how I looked at the team.
I put him on the Giants.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
I mean,
it was higher than I wanted to put him. Believe me, I did not want to put him there, but
because here's what I say for Harbaugh to start off with. It's great if you can get first of all with the defense, that'd be perfect. But he really needs to have the best players because
no doubt.
Here's the thing: that whole thing with Barkley messed up the Giants so bad.
Mm-hmm.
They need to rebrand themselves. They need to get the all the other stuff with a great player on there. Like Love. They need to rebrand. Like Love is the new Barkley. You got to get somebody that's exciting, that's going to sell tickets. That's how New York is, and then have the high expectations.
Bad for them.
And they may get burned twice. They may get burned twice too, the Giants, because if Daniel Jones does end up being the Daniel Jones we saw last year, then you basically gave your quarterback and your running back away, who are all pros elsewhere. One of them a Super Bowl champ elsewhere.
Yeah. So,
wow.
So they got to take the best player.
That context, G.
Yeah. So and to me,
that probably ranks up some of the worst trades ever.
Yep.
You say big dude? What'd you say, big dude? I'm sorry. I was talking.
Same way with Cleveland. They need the best. That's why I put Sonny Styles on there. If he's available. They had another guy that was, you need to have dudes that are in there to just change the whole look of Cleveland, and
I can see that. He would work real well with that defensive line.
With Schlesinger, right? Was that his name? I can't remember.
He would work well. He would fit in Cleveland's defense actually really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be fun, man. This is going to be fun. So we'll get our mock drafts out to the masses the same way we've been pumping out our top fives, and join us. Hopefully, you all will get to listen to this prior to the draft or watch this prior to the draft. But join us on draft night. We are going live, and we're gonna talk that ish because that's all we know how to talk. As they make mistakes drafting people when we have the right drafts right in front of us here. So join us on join us on Thursday for a special live stream edition of Chasing Rings, where we'll obviously be discussing the NFL draft as it is taking place. So until then, we will see y'all later.
Keep those lights coming, y'all.